Hello, happy Tuesday. Today is October 12th. I have so much footage that I have not edited. Hopefully all those videos are up before you're seeing this one, but just know on October 12th right now, I am drowning, just so you guys know. It is so much going on. My battery is about to die. What's new? I just wanted to pop on here while my kids are outside real quick and let you guys know that I am doing our weekly vlog as usual. This week's theme is spiders, and we have a lot of cute things going on for spiders, so I'm going to share all those things with you as soon as my battery charges. I thought it was charged, but like I said, I'm drowning. There is so much going on. What a mess. I had a meeting today, so I didn't even get back on, but I'm about to go home. I just want to show you, we redid the kitchen area and we organized some stuff. We took some pictures that we're going to add tomorrow, so I'm going to show you that real quick before we have to leave. Put this divider here, and then our dress up stuff and our kitchen, and then we have the table. We put this bucket there so that we can add menus so they can play like, you know, that they're at a restaurant. And then the baby dolls are here. This is still some of the other toys. They don't really go with kitchen though. And then we kept most of this stuff empty, see? So they can, when they're playing, they can actually put things in the refrigerator. This part's empty as well, but we did put the cookies all back together and in the oven. And we have these from Melissa and Doug that can always stay up there. They've been pretty good about keeping those up there. And we have a bucket that's gonna be all the pots and pans. Over here we have a bucket with like the silverwares and the knives that the kids like really love. Then we have the cups and the plates and the bowls down here. Ice cream. These are all the pantry type items. And then the food bucket. And then this is the baby doll clothes as well. And all the Dr. Kit stuff. So like I said, we're gonna take pictures. We're gonna take that label off that says math. And hopefully the kids can start cleaning it up in an organized manner. Fingers crossed. Also, while I'm over here, I can go ahead and show you, this week it is spiders. So for the Play-Doh, we put some spider rings, black Play-Doh, which gets in their nails, but whatever. These are for spider legs. We put some black beads and some orange beads and some black beans to use for the eyes. We read about spiders today, so they were putting like these for their 8 eyes. The sensory bin is here. I will have to put a picture up. Actually, let me put that up real quick. This is what it looked like before the kids got into it. And then this is what it looks like now. Obviously got mixed together. We dyed some rice orange, added some black beans and some green split peas. We have cauldrons, still scoopers that everybody likes. And we have these little pumpkins in here. These are the things we just got from Walmart for $1, little skeletons. We have little snakes as well. So it's a lot of fun. This one was very exciting to make, and the first group of kids got to mix it all up. And then this week's art center is a glitter spider web. We start them off, here's some of the stuff that we kept up here. We start them off with an orange paper and a white crayon, and we just draw on here the spider web, and then we let them use glue bottles, and then we pour the silver on and they make a spider. Are pretty cute how they've turned out. This one got ahead of the game with the black spider part before we got over there for the glitter, but you know. And then we have a spider with a million legs. But they did really good using the glitter. Okay, I actually got a lot done before I have to leave. I will be back hopefully tomorrow to add what we've been reading about, our social emotional, and the centers. See you soon. Hello, happy Wednesday. It's cooking day. My kids just went outside. I have a quick little minute to show you guys what we're cooking. Fingers crossed, because we did not do this recipe last year, but I was searching online and it looks like it's gonna be easy enough, so hopefully it works out the way that I am imagining that it's gonna work out after a hot day on the playground. Here we go. I is for icy drink. This is what I'm talking about. I remembered that we had a blender under the sink, and I remember being like, why do we have a blender? We literally never used it all year. And then when I saw this recipe, I was like, all right, we're gonna try it. So obviously the first ingredient on here says Kool-Aid. We had a family just bring in a little packet of Kool-Aid. I believe the directions was only like a tablespoon that you need. Hopefully this is enough in this small little packet. We're gonna find out, aren't we? Anyway, so you need Kool-Aid, and then you need ice. We just went down to our cafeteria, I've got some ice. And then this one is water, but it's actually recommended. You can use water, that is one of the recipes, but another one was recommended to use club soda. So I decided to try the club soda one, but water could work too. And then sugar here. So this is editable on my TPT store. Like you can make your own, and like this could still be considered a club soda, but I prepare it in advance, and it's really not worth it to me because club soda is a form of water, and I will just explain to them what that means. Then on the back, as usual, they're gonna draw a picture of what it looks like and if they liked it or not. I do know that when I asked the family to bring in the Kool-Aid packet, I said any flavor that you like except for blue because I feel like blue is gonna stain their mouth. This will probably stain their mouth too. So fingers crossed it works out. We're gonna set up the blender on the rug. There's like a plug over here under my computers. So I'm gonna set the blender up there. We're gonna do the measurements with the measuring cups and all of that. And then they'll be on the rug as they see the blend and cover their ears and all that good stuff. And then they'll just sit at their seats to eat it. Okay, so in addition to all of our cooking fun, I did already share with you our spiders themed week. We integrated some of that spider stuff into our small groups, but we also integrated just some other skills like Halloween, things like that. Because sometimes it's hard to make everything related to exactly what your topic is for the week, especially those independent centers. So this week we're learning a lot of sorting during whole group math, like sorting by color and shape, I believe is this week. But I mean, how many activities can you do in a small group with sorting by color and shape? Plus we've already like kind of touched on sorting, so I just feel like we're really dragging it out a little bit. So we put in some centers in math for reviewing numbers and counting, because they need that all year long. Also, I have been wearing some new clothes. I decided to do an order on, I'm pretty sure it's called Shein. And honestly, I've been pretty lucky. I read the reviews, but everything I bought has fit me very well, and it's cute and very successful. I do know in the past I bought some bathing suits and they didn't work out as good, but all the clothes are good to go. So I did get this top from Shein. My pants are just regular black jeans from Old Navy. I'm gonna show you the centers, but I also wanted to talk about how, just at our school in general, we got a new assistant principal recently, and she popped into our classroom just to like, not an actual observation, but more just making herself present. She is looking about of what we're doing in our class. She doesn't know me, obviously. She doesn't know any of the people at this school, really. So she just came in, looked around, observed, and then left a little note. But it doesn't matter if it's scheduled or not scheduled. I know you guys can relate that it is scary to have people come into your classroom no matter what. Even though you know that you're probably doing a great job and they're not. It's all good, but it's scary. So anyway, she comes in and we are actually in our social centers and the kids are playing, and we opened up blocks, but we opened up small blocks, which are three-dimensional shapes. And one of the little kids, she went around and said, "Oh, what are you guys doing?" And he said, "Oh, we're building with blocks." And then she walked away, and he got up and went over there and said, "Because this is a 3D shape and we're learning about 3D shapes, so we're building with 3D shapes." And I was like, yes, I'm sure you can relate to that. You're like, yay! They're taking the small group learning that we did for like 10 minutes of the day, and then when they have their social time to play with friends, they're still using that classroom language, and they shared it with the assistant principal, which is a win-win. So just a little fun story for you guys. Anyways, let me show you our small groups. Okay, so starting with reading, this week in my group, we are doing some more structured rhyming. So far in the past, we've done our poetry every week, and I've briefly talked about rhyming, or if we're reading a story and it has rhyming, I've talked about that. We've done a couple of Jack Hartman songs with rhyming. The best part is that if two words rhyme, he says, that rhymes, and then another way he'll say, no way, no way. And I feel like that catchy little phrase, I use it all the time in the class whenever we're doing rhyming. And one of the kids, actually the same kid that said the 3D shape thing, was at home and his mom was like, do you say that rhymes all the time? I was like, yeah, I do. And he's going home and saying it too. So those catchy phrases, that's how you get into them. This is from Miss Gardenia's speech room, which a lot of the activities that we do in here are also done in speech, I'm sure, for language. You know, that's what our whole class is, language. And it just has these adorable little kids dressed up in Halloween costumes, but underneath they have a picture, and then you have to find the matching candy bag for the rhyming. So how I set this up, because having all these cards can be very overwhelming, it makes it very difficult. Sometimes they don't even really know what the picture is. Like, one of them is a picture of fog, and even I was like, frame, picture, like what is this? And then I figured it out. Okay, sorry about that. We had a little bit of a hiccup outside, so I had to pause the video, and then after school I didn't have a break in order to finish recording. But back to my group. What I did was I would find 3 of the people, one with the correct answer, and I would line them up, and then for some of the groups that aren't quite like understanding the vocabulary or the rhyming quite yet, I would go through and I'd say, red jet. You know, does that sound the same? Red sit. Does that sound the same? Red pen. Obviously this is not it. It was red in bed. And then they would have to pick which one, and obviously they didn't get it right every time, and so we kind of stretched it out a little bit. Staying with that group, you know, 3 became too much, I realized, so then I just gave them 2 choices. That helped. The next group up was able to do 3 choices, and then my group that I did today on Thursday, I didn't have to give them the words even. I would say red, and then I gave them still 3 people, but they were able to look at those pictures on their own and match the rhyming already. So it's the same activity, but still differentiated within what the kids are capable of doing. But they did love these cute little people. Miss Sam's group, as always, is the letter book. I'm not sure if it's been a while since I showed it on the actual video, but they, you know, write their name, which is great practice, because this is something that we're noticing that if they don't have the visual in front of them, they are struggling to write their name. So next week, I'm already doing some lesson plans. We're gonna work on building our name and like kind of getting them singing the letters of their name. Maybe that will help them to know the order of how to spell their name, and then hopefully they'll be a little bit better about writing their name without the visual, things like that. Anyways, and then on the inside, they are going to trace the I, trace the lowercase I. There's some vocabulary here that they talk about. They say what sound it starts with. They talk about the realistic colors of how to color those things. And then they use a crayon to circle or color in the capital I's and the lowercase i's. And then on the back, they can come up with something that starts with I on their own. A lot of the times they'll use one of these pictures, but sometimes they come up with their own vocabulary. We also have a spot in the classroom for our letter of the week, I think you guys have seen. And in there we have 5 pictures from our curriculum about the letter of the week. So sometimes they use those pictures to draw a picture on here too. And then one of the independent groups was our computer, which we are still doing Starfall, and we get them set up on the letter video, and they have to do the letter I first and then free choice. And then the other group was kind of a review. So we do these sometimes, obviously, where they put, this time we're using these cute little Halloween erasers. We have a little witch, and they just find the letter I. But I put some of the older letters in here too that we went over. Letter M, where they have to use the erasers to build the letter M. And then still letter I on there. We had letter T in there. So kind of like a review of all the letters we've learned, plus adding in the new letter. That is literacy. Next, I will show you the math. Okay, I would start with my group, but this is why I wanted to record on Wednesday, because somehow I don't have a copy of the book that I did. So I can't share it with you, but I'll tell you about it. It's a freebie on Teachers Pay Teachers. If I find the link, since I don't have a copy of it, I'll post it down below. But it's just counting spiders. It says, I see 1 spider. I see 2 spiders. And it shows that many spiders. So we turn the page, and then we would count the spiders. And then they would say the number 1. And I'd say, oh, do you see the number 1 in this sentence? And then we'd circle the number 1. And then we read the sentence together. Once again, differentiated. Some kids, we were just really focusing on the counting. Some of the kids that already really know how to count to 5, I kind of threw in more literacy with them, and I put little dots under each word. So they were pointing to each word as they were reading it. And then obviously they got to color the spiders that matched the sentence. So reading and math. best kind of activities when you combined all that together. All right, Miss Sam's activity was so fun and they loved it, and it was still a skill that is kind of our focus skill this week, and we're gonna be doing some of that sorting on Friday for our overall activity, and we did some songs for sorting, but honestly, they really know how to sort by color. It's like an easy skill, and next week we're gonna start doing some sorting by size, which kind of bumps it up a little bit, but overall, they're really good at sorting. Anyways, we used Play-Doh and we made like a little ball, and then we, see there's still Play-Doh under here. We stuck the straw into the Play-Doh, and then they used spider rings. So they had the Play-Doh to make the straw stick up, and then Miss Sam would start it off with an orange ring. Every kid would have a pile of the color of spider rings. We have orange and then purple. These are from Walmart. Green and black. They would have a stack of them, and then they had to go through and they said orange, and they would have to put the orange on the straw and make it up high, and then afterwards they could count how many orange they had all together as a group and how many of the black on a different straw. So very engaging, but still super fun and learning. Engaging, fun, learning. That's the way to pre-K's heart. Honestly, that's probably the way to all learning, right? Okay, the independent activities. Oh my gosh, these are, I know I say it every week, but they are the hardest ones, because at this time of the year, there's not a lot of things they can do independently, but we just do the best we can. The independent one we used on the rug, and we had them do it by themselves, even though they were in a group. Each person got their own baggie, and they're different colors, so there's like purple ones and yellow ones and black ones, and they had to match up the spider with the number. Now, they're just not quite ready for the organization of this, so they would pick up a number and they'd say 9, and then they would look through every single piece, counting all the dots on every single one to find the one that had 9, which is still the right strategy, kind of, but it would take forever because, I mean, can you imagine? You had to count them all. So I tried to tell them before they got started, make sure you don't pick up the number, you pick up the dots and you count how many dots, then you look for the number because it's easy to recognize the number, first the dots. Nonetheless, then they matched it and they put them on the rug in their little area. And then the other activity was spider webs that had the number on it, and then they had orange spiders, and they did this as a group, which kind of worked better because they could all, some of the kids that knew different numbers could get the bigger numbers, or they could work together. And so they would just put 2 spiders on the web to match the number 2. I'm gonna be honest, there were a couple of groups that tested us this week that knew how to do this skill, but we're kind of playing around or not really focused. And what we did with that is, since there's only 2 teachers, and unfortunately I wish there could be a teacher at every group, the next thing after our math groups is play center. So we had them wait to play, and they had to come with one of us to complete the activity, and then they got to go play. So kind of teaching them that if you're gonna play when you're supposed to be learning, then you're gonna have to learn when everybody else is playing. We're still really hoping, I know that if you're in the teaching world, you are probably feeling it as well. It's rough. I mean, we're not getting a lot of positions filled, a lot of subs filled, and I understand why, I really do. So we're still waiting on our extra para to come. Fingers crossed. We do have someone who is interested, but they haven't really applied yet. So I'm just like, hoping and hoping and hoping that they apply and we interview and it's great and it works out and we get some extra help here. But I'm gonna go home, and once again, I know you're surprised, but we have soccer. It's all we do. And then I will be back on tomorrow to wrap up what we did for our literacy and our social immersion. Hello, happy Friday. I am going to wrap up this week of spiders with you guys, and it's also day 1 of our fundraiser for the color run that we're doing. So I'm also wearing some silly socks that I'm gonna show you. All right, first things first, silly sock day. I have these. They say, ooh, there we go, best mom ever. I've been meaning to also give you guys like a rundown of what our classroom looks like during the day or throughout the day. I feel like I wanted to do this, but my para Sam said that I've already done this in another video. I can never remember what I've showed you or not, but This is what happens. Circle time, or, you know, the calm down area. I did chat to you guys about having the fidgets there and how it would go and stuff like that. So sometimes when our friends are a little angry, we have to move the fidget bucket away until they're a little more calm so they stop throwing things. So that ends up here. A computer, my coffee, got like random cookbooks because these friends are new and we need to add in our cookbook papers for them. This stuff is for the video that I'm going to show you. We did a craft, so the crayons are still here. A book that I'm going to be using. That's for my data collection. This is our breakfast bag that is literally supposed to be up there, but when we walk in, you know, you just throw it. Okay, holy cow, my camera just started beeping at me and I didn't know what was wrong, but I think it was storage full. I'm not sure. I really should learn how to use this camera, but nonetheless, I have like my bag down there, junk, and then the back counter is like, we're making these costumes, so we constantly have something here and things drying and painting and all the supplies for painting. And then over here, we were hot gluing this morning, so the hot glue gun is still out because it had to cool off. It is unplugged. And then they brought this in for a reward for the kids who signed up for the fundraiser. It's just like always a mess throughout the day. And I swear when nap time comes, we're constantly just cleaning. So here's an update also on the costumes. We got more eyeballs on. The girls have the glitter, I think I showed you guys. And so Miss Sam is, these ones look like frogs right now because we're waiting for their triangles. Miss Sam's gonna take home the shirts that we dyed and add some spikes with felt, I believe. And then we ordered some shirts for us so that we can make those. The poem this week is Itsy Bitsy Spider, halfway through our schedule. Our letter of the week is under this, but for now we did put up our spider informational poster. This is like very impressive. We did some Mayan books, so I don't really have anything to show you, but informational, like nonfiction text, and the kids loved it, and they were able to give me all of these facts that they remembered, and a lot of the kids went home and told their parents about it, so it's working. Don't worry, TSG is still coming. I also am gonna add vinyl up here. We did some new standards or, you know, assessment pieces. We have, let me get closer. I can tell others how I feel. This correlates perfectly with what we're doing in social emotional with feeling words. Sorting kind of goes with our math right now. Obviously it's under cognitive development. So I am assessing that today in math. We're gonna have some shapes and we're gonna try to sort them by at least color and shape, and then next week we're gonna do some size, so we'll be able to add some names there. I can listen to and understand stories. I kind of kept track of that like throughout always, you know, but definitely yesterday I read a story and then I asked a lot of questions about it, and so the kids that go side to side, they were completely fine. The kids that go up and down, you know, maybe they were able to listen to the story but weren't so great at answering those questions yet. Writing their name. We are going to do a name writing. Well, we do it every day, but we're going to do a specific name activity next week for pumpkins. And then counting. This one, we're always counting, so kind of putting that there too. I don't know if you noticed, but we had to move our calm down area again, and we still have a disaster here with this cord, not the safest, so we're trying to figure out a solution there. But some of our friends, when they were in this area, when they were feeling angry, they would take down our, I gotta be careful because the pictures, let me back up. Then you won't be able to see it. There we go. They would take down our picture right here, and then it's on like push pins, so that was not safe. And then the border, like I have purple border, you can see here clearly, and no purple border here anymore because they would rip it off. And then the posters were on there and they would rip it off, so not the best idea. So we decided to switch it so they have a concrete wall, and we'll just, you know, keep improvising. Do what we can, right? Okay, I hear them. They're about to come in. We gotta hurry. Like I said, this week we did spider books. I don't have any of them because they were all on Mayan, but we did some nonfiction, and then we did do a fiction story to talk about characters briefly. Our Monday book was our letter I, because that's our letter of the week. We made our cute crowns. Today, for our small group time, since we don't do small groups on Friday, we transitioned our poetry time to be able to do our craft because we were having trouble fitting it in. So instead of small group, we work on our poetry notebook. It was the Itsy Bitsy Spider, which is very popular. And then we just put a sun and a drain and some raindrops and a spider. They drew 8 legs and 8 eyes. Then I know I showed you what we cooked this week, but I don't think I've shown you a final result of what it looks like when the kids are done like drawing about it. So this student You know, they colored their different pictures, traced their words, then we got to eat it, taste the icy, which it was really good and the kids loved it. And then they drew a picture of what the icy looked like, and if they liked it, kind of liked it, didn't like it. Okay, social emotional this week. Once again, it is second steps, and there was 2 cards we learned about being surprised and being scared and afraid. So we did some activities where we just like learned about the story, asking questions, talking about why they were surprised, why they were scared, giving examples of when they were surprised or scared. And then we also played the game with the feelings cards. We put happy, sad, scared, and surprised down on the rug, and I covered it with my jacket actually. I took one away and they had to tell me which feeling card was missing. So that was one of the activities. And today was the read aloud time, and instead of reading a specific social emotional story, I pulled out a Halloween story, The Halloweener, because the characters in this story do get scared at a time, and it kind of connects to Halloween in general. Okay, that was a lot. I think I went over everything. Last thing is my cute little earrings. I got these from Shein. I did a big shopping spree, as you guys can see. And that is it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for subscribing and watching and asking all those questions. I will continue to give you videos as you continue to watch them. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you are not subscribed yet, please do click that subscribe button to join along, and that notification bell so you can be alerted when I post a new video. Have a great weekend. Bye.